Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the second annual Drauger OS State of the Project Address. I'm your host, Thomas Castleman, the lead developer and founder of Drauger OS. Before we get into this year's major events and statistics, we would like to quickly recap what the Drauger OS State of the Project Address aims to achieve for our first timers. The Drauger OS State of the Project Address is a discussion to be given on the yearly anniversary of the first public release of Drauger OS, May 4th. It will be uploaded to the internet for public consumption in at least two forms, a video form and a text form. These forms will be uploaded to as many platforms as possible to make it more easily accessible. In this address, the latest kernel, Mesa, and NVIDIA graphics driver versions will be reported. Any major changes to Drauger OS and supporting services will also be included. Download statistics will be shared. Additionally, any and all shortcomings will be disclosed. This will include, but is not limited to, data leaks, security breaches, unbootable releases, and vulnerabilities not patched. The address is specifically meant to foster transparency with the community, so that trust can be maintained. We are human just like everyone else, so we should be honest and open about our shortcomings, while celebrating our achievements. First up, a final update on Drauger OS 737 Revenant. Drauger OS 737 Revenant was officially considered end-of-life on May 25, 2019, when Drauger OS 741 Jiangxi reached stable release. In total, Revenant received approximately 2,200 downloads. Further statistics are unavailable due to SourceForge deleting them when the ISO was removed from their site. The version after Revenant, version 741 Jiangxi, has had 5,600 downloads so far and is still supported, making it the longest running stable version of Drauger OS to date. The top three countries in downloads were Spain with 857 downloads, the United States with 779, and Germany with 703. Most of these downloads were made on Windows operating systems. Currently, the latest version of Drauger OS, version 751 Zombie, is in its first beta release and was made available to the public on March 21st, 2020. There have been a total of about 200 downloads so far. More specific download stats are not currently available because Zombie is now hosted on our own web server, with less analytical data instead of SourceForge. Kernel versions this time are a little different, as we are in the middle of moving kernels. Jiangxi is currently on version 5.6 of the LaQuartz kernel, a pre-compiled version of the Zen kernel. Zombie is on version 5.7 RC3 of the mainline kernel. The kernel is now being built in-house, with changes made only to configuration. Most notably, the option to enable low latency is turned on while compiling, and the scheduling frequency has been changed from 250 Hz to 1000 Hz. We build this kernel directly from the Linux kernel GitHub mirror, so we are on the bleeding edge of kernel technology. As of now, the Mesa driver version is at 20.1 and the NVIDIA graphics driver version is 440.64. Legacy support down to version 390 is available to users should they need it. SystemBack, our previous system installation utility, backup tool, and ISO build tool, has been completely dropped. In its place, we are now using an in-house solution to build ISO images, yielding an ISO that is up to 50% smaller and also takes 25% of the time to build that SystemBack did, or even less. Finally, we're using our own in-house system installer, which is capable of installing an OS in only 2 to 3 minutes on a quad-core CPU with 4 to 8 gigabytes of RAM, an SSD, and a decent network connection. Regarding applications, USB Scanner, or Xbox controller driver daemon, has been discontinued. Feral Game Mode has been added to our repositories, though this is not installed by default because it requires a little more configuration to actually use. As for added software, we've included the ever-popular Timeshift as our new backup utility. GameHub and BleachBit have also been added. These applications, as well as the packages which were originally in the personal package archives for Jiangxi, are now all in one Drauger OS app repository. This makes updates slightly faster since it does not need to connect and download files from more servers than needed. For a more detailed look at the changes made from Jiangxi to Zombie, including the updated interface and the base distribution upgrade, take a look at our blog post on the subject, the link for which will be in the description. Looking at our community, we had an explosion in size as more and more people followed us on our Twitter and Mastodon and joined our Discord and Telegram groups. This was thanks to the media coverage provided for free by DistroWatch, Linux++, ItsFoss, and other media outlets online. This extra media coverage has not only made beta testing much easier, it has also given Drauger OS more contributors, such as Mark Doherty. Mark is one of the writers of Boiling Steam, a blog dedicated to Linux gaming news, reviews, and opinions. Mark has lent his skills and his time with us so far in areas mostly related to writing and editing for our blog and wiki, as well as the script for this speech. But he is also hoping to get involved in coding as well sometime in the future. Listen to our interview with him in episode 28 of our podcast. More details about our podcast will be talked about later on. Turning our attention to our website, we were able to move our blog from SourceForge to our own website, hosted on our own server, thanks to the work of our web developer, Logan L. Johnson. He's currently working on a revamped support system, which is currently being rolled out. Unfortunately, we did experience a server breach a few months ago. Someone got access to our web server in an unauthorized way and set up a phishing website on it to collect user bank account data. Once we realized what was going on, we immediately removed the site. We do not know who was responsible other than the possibility it was someone working at the data center where our server was stored. We promptly moved to a different server after this event. No user data was leaked, but it definitely highlighted the need for heightened security measures. In order to prevent future security breaches, Drauger OS has moved to more secure servers, which a smaller amount of people have access to, and Drauger OS content is safe in the hands of. The servers we are using now are provided by our partner organizations, Psycho Network and Swivro, and managed solely by trusted contributors and partners. In the current environment, if a breach or security hole were to be somehow found, it could be mitigated immediately before an issue such as last time occurs. Our site has moved hosting providers more than 6 times this year, but has only undergone minor redesigns. Source code for the OS is now more easily obtainable by visiting draugeros.org/go/download source code. This source code encompasses not just our apps, but some of our internal scripts and the chroot, the tool used to build Drauger OS, that contains the current development state of the latest version of Drauger OS. Our final bit of news pertaining to the website is that our app repository is now on a separate server. This will allow our website to be more agile and may improve downtime. Finally, looking at the bigger picture, we started our own podcast this year and are currently on episode 29. Feel free to give us a listen on your favorite podcast player, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, where we outline what we've been working on during the week and what our future goals for Drauger OS are, in addition to the occasional interview with special guests. We also created a roadmap on Trello. This will allow us to document our goals and bug fixing plans for future Drauger OS releases. As for development, we created 430 commits in 20 GitHub repositories, 6 of which were created this year. We also merged 32 pull requests, received or created 3 issue reports, and resolved all 3 of them. In total, at least 290 man-hours were spent working on Drauger OS. Please keep in mind this measurement was started partway through the year and only includes my work personally. Therefore, this number should be considered bare minimum at best. Thanks for tuning in to our State of the Project address. If you're willing to give Drauger OS a try, we would love to get your feedback. You can download it now at draugeros.org/go/download. And you can send any features you'd like to see or bug reports to draugeros.org/go/contact us. Before we go, I would like to quickly send out a huge thank you to our web developer, Logan, for providing insight on our website, and to our editor, Mark Doherty, for editing the script and providing feedback on what exactly to say. Thanks for watching, and catch you next year.